Well, welcome and blessings to you. And this is Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, JB Owen, and I'm so happy to be here because we get to talk about ways to ignite humanity today. And each and every day, every week, we are here sharing with you new and unique ways that you can ignite humanity. Now, you're probably thinking, I like watching those cooking shows or their makeup shows or those talk shows. What is igniting humanity all about? Well, we are chatting about how you can, and each and every one of us can, do something to improve the planet, to bring us together, to create collaboration and connection, to foster new relationships and understanding, to end sort of differences and create inclusion and really allow people to see one another in a powerful and unique way. We use Ignite moments, those stories, those unique aspects of us to bring us together. We each and every one of us can connect with perseverance and dedication and determination in the human journey. And when we share those powerful stories, we actually feel closer to one another. Our brain releases endorphins and hormones that allows us to connect with one another. And it is amazing how stories bring us together. And I believe that will be what ignites humanity. Now, it's so fun because today is Solution Day. And I love solutions. I'm just not one of those people that sit in problems. In fact, when my kids say to me, something's not working or I don't like that, the first thing I say is, well, what do we do to create a solution? Solutions are super powerful because when you're stuck in a rut or you're feeling like it's not possible or you're worried about what to do next, diving into a solution is truly a powerful way to move you forward and help you decide what to do next. In fact, interestingly enough, the last couple of years is what I call the grand pivot. The pandemic has really forced us all to create new solutions in our lives in many different ways, with our jobs, with our careers, with our home life, with our family, with our friends, with our travel. And so we've been forced to create new solutions, which I call the grand pivot. The pivot really moves you into a new direction. And so often that pivot is actually heading you in the direction of where you are meant to go. Just like an ignite moment, something happens to you that shifts you and pivots you and turns you and forces you to pay attention in a new direction of your life. And that grand pivot is so grand. Because most of the times we can look back on our ignite moments and see the silver lining. We find the golden nuggets within the change that we were forced to make. And similarly to the pandemic, the grand pivot is truly grand. It's forced us all to look at our lives in a different way. And that has inspired this show to ignite humanity in ways we have never done before. It is truly possible. And with our guest here today, we're going to talk about some solutions that is going to allow you to step into the next fabulous version of you. Well, we're here every single day. So if you want to catch us, make sure you go check us out on our website at ignitehumanity.life/share. And you can see all of our episodes, today's and all of our previous episodes, as you check out what our guests are doing to create solutions in their lives. All right, well, let's introduce our guest. We love having her here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, Miss Dana Shalit. She's a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a spiritual coach, and an entrepreneur with a passion for giving back and supporting others on their self-growth journey. After running an event production company and charity for over a decade, she became a top sales leader with a global brand where she cultivated a fascination for peeling back the layers of self through conscious coaching and subconscious therapy. We want to welcome her to the show. Come on in, darling.
Hello.
How are you? Hey, welcome to Ignite Humanity Live.
Thank you so much.
Happy to be here. And we'd like our viewers to know that we are global. And so we are checking in with you. You're down in Costa Rica, correct?
I am indeed. Beautiful Costa Rica.
That's right. And for those of you who are new to the show, we have guests from all over the world. We've been to New Zealand, to England, to Brazil, to Canada, to America. And that means people all over the world are igniting humanity. So Dana, let's dive in. Tell us a little bit about you, just so the viewers know what some of your background and some of the things that you do that makes you feel passionate about igniting others' lives.
Absolutely. Well, I would say it's been my path my entire life, even though I would consider myself multi-passionate. And I've had a few different careers as I walked this path. And that just really works for my character type, my personality. I have many different passions. And so I started my life in event production, specifically in charitable fundraising. And I still run that charity to this day, but it really made me passionate about not only doing and achieving, but knowing that there's like a much bigger purpose here. And it's really what you stand for, igniting humanity. I'm so passionate about what your mission is, and that's why I'm here today. And so from there, really took it into business, and I started to find some success in the sales, more of a sales role, and I started to see multiple people with the same tools, the same opportunities, and everybody was having different results. And that is really what drove me into hypnotherapy, conscious coaching, subconscious therapy, to really start to understand the mind and to understand what the underlying way the mind works. How can we work with it to live our most optimal lives?
Yeah, and often we have a desire on the conscious level, but the subconscious level is working against us. And often,
Right.
again, going back to the grand pivot, we subconsciously feel resistance or subconsciously feel like that's not going to work, and therefore it doesn't work. And so, do you have some solutions that we could share with our listeners about ways that they can use the conscious and the subconscious for their benefits?
Absolutely. Well, we need the conscious mind. It's how we operate throughout the day. But I think allowing ourselves to start to move into the subconscious mind and start to really examine that, bottom end of the glacier. They say the 95% of the glacier is underwater. That's the same with our subconscious mind. And the way we access our subconscious mind is by allowing ourselves to calm our nervous system. And that is, if I gave one solution, my biggest mantra is that inner peace is the path to world peace. And
Mm.
so what we do as one wave in the ocean will affect the entire ocean. And so allowing ourselves to calm our nervous system every single day. And we can do that in many different ways. We can do that with the help of a therapist who knows how to, work with you to calm your nervous system. We can do it through meditation. We can do it through any mindfulness practice, really, allowing ourselves to go into that subconscious mind.
So I'm gonna say that again, inner peace will create world peace. Like that's really powerful. I like that. And it is really the precedent of this show because if we ignite ourselves, then we
Mhm.
can ignite others. And when we ignite others, we'll ignite humanity. So there is this wonderful ripple effect. And so it always starts with us. We often have surrendered our power to governments or policies or education or schools or teachers or all these other institutions that we feel like are puppeteering our lives. But the truth is, it really starts with us. And if we want the external world to be a certain way, then we have to start with the internal. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And more than that, the external is constantly a reflection of what, not only what we feel inside as one human being, but what we all feel as a collective. And so that's when the contrast starts to, we start to see the contrast, and we need contrast. We actually need contrast. That's part of being a human being. I know we're going to talk about ignite moments, but contrast has been the thing to ignite my entire life. When things are going great and everything is fine and my mind is tranquil, it's actually when my mind has been in a tumultuous, it has been in the storm, when I didn't know what was next, that everything started to go in the direction I was meant to go in. But
And
I'm
so
digressing.
no, no, it's so great. And before we get into the ignite moment, can you just lovingly like break it down in the simplest way? Because some of our listeners are like, look, I'm hearing about this consciousness and this subconsciousness, and I'm hearing people say that what I think I create and what I believe I achieve. But is there a way to just really make it bread and butter for the people who are just listening for the very first time and hearing this? What is the very simplest way we can share and inspire somebody listening today who just feels like I need a hook, I need a way to put it in my mind that makes it super simple?
Well, maybe I'll ask you, when you say super simple, which part are we simplifying?
I
What's the,
guess, yeah, the subconscious versus the conscious. I
okay,
mean, a lot of people feel like, I don't understand how the subconscious is working if I don't think that. I don't understand how if I believe something, but it still doesn't happen because my subconscious doesn't believe it. Is there just a
okay.
way that you have that when you coach some of your clients, it just makes it super digestible for people who are hearing it for the first time?
For sure. So, I guess I can use this analogy. When we come into this world as a baby, we know that we are perfect, whole, and complete. We don't judge ourselves for crying. We don't control our eating and try to figure out what's going on. We believe we can be astronauts. We literally have the whole world in front of us, and anything is possible. We're 100% expressed, and judgment is not present within our soul, right? So there's no shame, there's no judgment, there's none of that yet. As our ego starts to come into play, and it usually starts to happen between the ages of 2 and 8, we start to have certain things imprint on our soul, and then we spend the rest of our life undoing those imprints. Okay, so that's the game we're in, and it's a beautiful flow, and it's the basis of being a human being. And if we can learn how to flow with it and enjoy it and accept it, there's a ton of learnings that can come up. So I would say the subconscious mind holds all of those imprints, all of those limiting beliefs, which are usually one of, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, and I don't belong, or I'm different. Those are the main imprints that we get on our soul between the ages of 2 and 8, and they run the rest of our lives. So if you want a relationship, for example, but you believe at a core that you're not lovable, and because something happened, not a big trauma, maybe it was a small trauma that somebody said to you, "Oh, you dress like that, you're a weirdo." Like, I don't know what happens when you're a kid, right? When that happens, it creates an imprint, and unless we allow ourselves to go back to the point in which it was created and to say, "I don't believe that anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't listen to what other people say." Unless we go back into the moment where it began and undo it, it will live in this cavern, in this subconscious cave, the bottom of the glacier. And so it's not about, my favorite
Mm.
quote, yeah, it's not about becoming anything, it's about unbecoming everything we are not.
Oh, I mean, you just set it up perfectly for what we really talk about ignite moments. There's an ignite impact moment. Something happens, somebody says you
Mhm.
dress weird, and there's that impact ignite moment that inspires you or even prevents you or just somehow imprints on you an idea or belief that you live your life a certain way because of what somebody said, because of that ignite impact moment.
That's
And
right.
then later in life, you have an ignite transformation moment where you realize like that really isn't the truth, or what that person said. Maybe they truthfully said that, but what I believed about it, or what I assigned a meaning to, or how I implemented in my life really isn't necessary, isn't really serving me. And actually, ding, 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 there's actually something different that I could think than what I thought at that particular time. So beautiful. You set it up perfectly. That leads us into, let's dive into you. Was there an ignite impact moment in your life that later became an ignite transformational moment that allowed you to do what you're doing now?
I think it's been full of those moments. And, I say I'm a multi-passionate person. If it's every time a new passion, a new moment came into life, into my mind, where my big thing that I've said many times in my life is that there must be something else out there for me. It's like my soul knew that I was ready for an upgrade, that I had hit some kind of glass ceiling, and that there was more for me to give, more for me to do, and more for me to create in this world. But that was usually preceded by a pretty dark night of the soul, right? So it usually starts with, something's off. I don't feel good. I don't know what's going on with me. So, for example, I can say in my event production, when I was running an event production company, I was working 100-hour weeks. I was, producing fashion shows and doing all the cool things. I would used to say, on if Instagram existed, it would have looked amazing. But in reality, I was struggling. I was exhausted. I was having panic attacks. I was experiencing anxiety. And I knew that my bigger goal was to serve humanity on a much bigger scale. And so I found myself saying in that moment that there must be something else out there for me. And that was when, and I would say every one of my ignite moments, it was in those moments that I had to choose faith over fear, that I had to choose knowing that, I have faith in my inner calling, and it's bigger than my not knowing what's next. And so I just have to take the next step, move a little bit closer to my calling. And that first ignite moment is what created, like, me going down the healer route. I started to heal myself. Why am I experiencing anxiety? Why am I working so much until I burn out? Why
Mm.
am I choosing those paths? So it always, in that moment, it started to have me work through personal development books, work with coaches, seek out therapists. And it very much helped me create a ton of success in my next career, which was as a top sales leader in an international brand. Because again, what you feel on the inside, you can execute on the outside.
And it's interesting how, like, you had it all, for example, or had this wonderful,
Mhm.
fabulous looking great on Instagram kind of life, but
Mhm.
inside you were very unhappy. And I feel like some people who are listening, they too can relate to that really unhappy feeling. And what you
Mhm.
just said is that's kind of the catalyst, or that's kind of the knock on the door. Like, if you're feeling this unhappy, if you're feeling this unfulfilled, it's kind of like, hello, wake up, what else is possible, or what else is out there? And for
That's
many
right.
of us, we just sort of go deeper into the unhappiness instead of realizing this is a wake up call for what I can do differently, or this is, I'm feeling so unhappy at this moment, it's actually a springboard, an ignition point
That's right.
to doing something else. I love that sharing. And so you then had sort of, and then this is about the pivot. Let's go back to that. You had this massive pivot that you decided you were going to do something more fulfilling for you.
Exactly, exactly, and it's always that contrast. One of my favorite quotes is by Neil. It's from the book Within, and he says, "Contrast creates waves of desire, which is the basis for all of creation." So contrast creates waves of desire, which is the basis for all of creation. And so I had this dark night of the soul. There was something in me that was calling me forward. I didn't know what was next. I was terrified. I was scared. But I think I had to, and I can relate with people who are like, I don't feel good, I'm not happy. That is the human experience. Buddha says that it's about acceptance of the impermanence of the dark feelings and the positive feelings. They're all going to pass. So yes, using those darker moments, those unhappy moments as that catalyst has been the catalyst for every pivot in my life, which has been many of, because I'm a forever learner, and there's many different ways to help humanity, and I feel like I'm checking them all out. So
Well, I feel compelled to say, what about the cliche that everybody says, well, just be happy. Will you just be happy? Just go ahead and be happy. And I think what people don't really hear is that verb, the really importance of the verb be. To be happy, you must be. Can you share a little bit about that? Because you have so much experience and you really are being in Costa Rica. Extrapolate on the verb be.
for sure. I remember in one of my dark moments in life, and I would say, by the way, JB, that it's we are trained that way to just be happy and put on a smile. But I think it's so dangerous because it's the only way to it is through it. So the only way to get to be happy again is to really learn from it, be with it, really learn how to just sit with uncomfortable emotion as opposed to resisting it, which creates a lot more. And so
Mm.
I was in one of my dark nights of the soul, and I was meeting with a practitioner, and she said to me, "Oh," she checked me out and she said, "Wow, you're really good at doing. You're really good at doing, but you really don't know how to be." And I was like, "Ah, that's hilarious. Yes, you're right. I don't know how to be." And I was, wait a second, how do I be? So this is her. I've been carrying this tidbit around for over a decade, and she said, if you are noticing that you are in your that brainwave that is doing, then take it back for a moment and just exercise your senses. Just, what are you feeling? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? As a way to anchor yourself back into the present moment. And then with that, with like a little mindfulness trick, you can start to play a little bit more. So play is a huge part of what I do. So creativity, I'm always in some kind of creative course, even though it's still doing, like I'm using my hands, let's just say. It is absolutely a way of just allowing ourselves to be kids again. So kids can just sit and play with the pans. They can just be. So going back, the undoing of, what our ego tells us, which is you're worthy and enough only if you are achieving. No, you are worthy and enough and lovable because you are a beam of light, an expression of source. You're perfect, whole, and complete, always will be, always and forever. And so it's that remembering of who we actually are and allowing ourselves to spend more time in that energy.
Yeah, great solution, because many times we're spinning, we're strobing, we're stressed, and for you to say, just stop. And, everybody has, take a breath, but take a breath also is like, hear what's going on, smell what's around you, take in, feel the sunshine or feel the breeze or, feel the ground beneath you, like really be in the five senses. That's a great solution. I love that one. Very wonderful. You made me think of sometimes when my son, for example, he wanted to quit hockey. He was really upset with his coach and he wanted to quit. And I said, okay, go be in that feeling. Go sit in your room and think about, what does it mean to quit? What does it mean to give up? What does it mean not to get up every morning to go to hockey? What does it mean not to be on the ice? How does it feel to not, go to the tournaments? Really feel all of that feeling of giving up and quitting and not being a part of hockey anymore. And then make sure that that's okay with you. And it was so funny because 5:30 the next morning, he was like giving me the little nudge. Come on, Mom, we got to get up for hockey. Because when we be in the feeling, right, versus deflecting or just in autopilot, when we really be in it, we get to decide, I don't want to be in this anymore. I don't want to be sitting in this. I'm ready to make the pivot. And I think that was a great example. What you said, you literally decided that doing versus being was now how you wanted to be.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly. Such good, yummy, yummy, yummy stuff. Well, one of our principles in the Ignite Humanity principles is foster positive expansion and loving evolution. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think expansion is something that we don't really think about as our own, like for us as people, and evolution the same as individuals. Can you just share your theory on in foster positive expansion and loving evolution?
Yes, I think it's funny. I pray, but I always pray for whatever's for my highest evolution because I believe that we are all walking our unique paths that are here to sort of mold us, almost like that diamond, right? Diamonds mold like they become diamonds under pressure, right? So I believe we are the exact same way. So positive evolution to me is just allowing yourselves to be open to walking your unique path, whatever is for your highest evolution. Because again, my belief is that world inner peace is for world peace, inner power is for outer power, that what we feel within is what we will see on the outside. So we are here to grow and learn. And I think going back to what you said about your son, I think that often we mistake energy and motion within our body as negative because it's uncomfortable. But any change will feel uncomfortable, and most change will create some kind of energy and motion within our body. And so, learning how to be with the energy flow, learn from it, witness it, and enjoy this very short life experience as best we can with the bittersweet moments, as difficult as they are. There's a great book called Bittersweet by Susan Cain, which I highly recommend. Learning how to live with the contrast of life. The bittersweet moments can tend to be the most beautiful moments. And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
So many good solutions, folks. I hope you were taking notes and writing some of these things down because they're fabulous solutions and very, very inspiring. Tell us where we can find you. We'll put it up on the screen. If you'd like to know more about what Dana's up to, you can check her out on her website at danashalit.com. And also, I would love to share that you have been an author in one of our amazing books, Female Changemakers. How has writing your story changed your life?
You know what, JB, I'm so grateful for that experience because I'm continuing to write and just being able to create discipline and have accountability around sharing a really personal story and hopes that it will support others on their path. It was just, again, all of those moments of accountability and working with your team and made a huge difference in my life. And I can't wait to see what comes out next. Now that I've done it once, it becomes easier to do it again and again, right?
That's right. It's like a muscle, right? We grow that muscle. Show them your muscles. That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I love catching up with you, and I love hearing what you're sharing. What do they say in Costa Rica when they're saying goodbye?
Pura vida.
Pura vida. All right. Blessings to you, and take care.
Thank you so much. Ciao.
Well, I loved what Dana shared about inner peace creates world peace. So hang on to that tidbit for today and make it a solution for you. Decide that you're going to get grounded and feel the area around you, awaken your senses and open up to what's possible for you, and really enjoy where you're at, because what you believe you achieve and what you decide you create. Be in you. Be in the greatness and the magnificence and the wonderment of you. In fact, even think back to that little person in you that just knew everything was possible and all those dreams you were capable of, and decide to go with that direction, not all of the conditioning that we're feeling now. Do the grand pivot into the life that you want to have, and decide that what you do when you ignite yourself, that ignite others, and that's going to ignite humanity. Well, if you want to know ways to ignite humanity, please go to our website, ignitehumanity.live. That's right. We are talking about all the things that we can do individually and collectively to ignite one another. We have an incredible book called Ignite Humanity, and we would love for you to tell your story. If you're doing something wonderful and you're ready to share, and you think that your Ignite moment can inspire somebody else, let us know and be a part of ignitehumanity.life. It's a beautiful book, and it's designed for you to tell your story so that people around the globe can hear it. We also have a documentary and a docu-series and all kinds of things that we're doing to ignite humanity. So go check us out at our website. And if you've got a story to share, we would love to hear from you. In fact, we've been getting lots and lots of people filling out our type form at ignitehumanity.life/share and telling us about themselves, what they're doing to ignite humanity. And we want to hear more. So if you're doing something to ignite the world, please reach out and share on our type form. And if, for example, you have someone in your life who you believe is doing something, let's put it up on the screen one more time, ignitehumanity.life/share. Tell us about your friend. Give us some information about your family member or somebody you know who's really making a big impact to ignite the planet, and maybe we could showcase them. Now, we've got lots of things going on at Ignite. We're doing a lot of different things, and we would love for you to participate in some of them. And every single day, we're coming here at Ignite Humanity Live to tell you what we're up to and how you can ignite humanity. So if you've missed any of our past episodes, if you want to know more about our guests, and I just want to say, I think our guests are some of the coolest people on the planet. In fact, even yesterday's show, last week's show, today's show, I keep thinking like our guests are so amazing. They're so cool. They're so uplifting and inspiring. So if you need that in your life, please go to ignitehumanity.life/watch and watch all of our episodes. Now, we also are available free on Facebook, and every day we go live. But when you go to our website and sign in, you get access to all of the other episodes, and they are completely free to you. We don't ask you to buy anything or purchase anything, and we don't redirect or try to resell you. Honestly, what we really want is to ignite humanity. I've had a lot of people say, oh, you should leverage the show. You should do this. You should charge this. You should monetize. And I really want you to know the reason I show up here every day is so that you feel inspired, so that there's nothing holding you back. You're in no way prevented from doing something to ignite your life, because I know and strongly believe that when you ignite your life, you will have the confidence and the willingness and the wantingness to go out and ignite someone else's life. And when that person feels ignited, they will have the willingness and the wantingness to go ignite another person's life. And it may take a bit of time, but guess what? Sooner than later, quicker than we could ever imagine, we are going to ignite humanity. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, and enjoy.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and of our futures.